What's going on, everybody? It's another week, another DFS by Cage with your host, Cage. This is episode 27, where I do my DFS lineup on Draftkings for UFC 274. We got the pay per view live this Saturday from Arizona with two big title fights on the card. First, we got Charles Oliveira defending his lightweight championship against Justin Gaethje, and then we got Rose Namajunas defending her title against Carla Esparza in a rematch from the Ultimate Fighter finale, which saw Esparza beat Rose Namajunas. But before we get into my six-fighter lineup, as always, we are Cage My IQ with the best place for MMA content. As you see right there, please follow and subscribe to us on Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. We are back on the Cage My IQ YouTube. So all I ask for you guys to do is go to YouTube, search Cage My IQ, and hit the subscribe button on the channel. Also, the notification bell. So whenever we put all the content out that we do, you guys are the first to see it. And then, of course, for this video, please smash the like button and hit us up in the comment section. Let us know what you think of my lineup. And always, as always, let me know who you're going to use on this pay-per-view. We got a good one here with a lot of different uh, lineups that you can go for. This is going to be a tough card to call lineup wise, but I feel like we're going to get back on track after a not so good week, and then we're going to knock it out of the park. But of course, I also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, and which is High Tide Herbal. If you don't know who High Tide Herbal is, check out this video right now.
Offering high-quality, sustainable products with all-natural, lab-tested ingredients, it's High Tide Herbal's mission to help others live the longest, healthiest, and most productive lives possible. Their hemp-derived CBD products have a wide variety of uses, from helping sore muscles to skin hydration and minimizing skin irritation. They generate results based on your specific needs. Elevate your lifestyle with the new wave of wellness. Visit hightideherbal.com to learn more.
Once again, our sponsor is High Tide Herbal. We're running a promo with High Tide Herbal. All you gotta do is go to www.hightideherbal.com, put in the promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout, and you'll receive 10% off your first order. Once again, that's 10% off your first order with promo code CageMyIQ10. Let's break down my six-fighter lineup for UFC 274. Of course, as always, go from the lowest to the highest cost here. I've already plugged it in on the left to start from the lowest. The first person that I'm going to be plugging into my lineup is the challenger, Carla Esparza, aka the Cookie Monster. She's coming in at 7,300. Let's plug her in right there. We'll get to the breakdowns after I get my lineup. Then the next person after her is, of course, the other challenger in the main event, Justin the Highlight Gaethje. He comes in at 7,700. I like the challengers this week. Can't beat those. Next, we got Chaos Williams, aka the Ox Fighter. He comes in at 8,300. Then we got Goy Ivanov. He comes in, aka Baga, with a salary of 8,400. We only got two spots left. The second one is Tracy Cortez. She comes in at 8,700. And then lastly, we got the most expensive person, which is Michael the Iron Chandler, who comes in at 9,600. So as you see right there, there's my lineup right there. I'll go with Carla Esparza first. Of course, we see there she's fighting Rose Namajunas for the championship. This is the second time that they're going to be fighting. She comes in at 19-6. Her FPPF, which everybody knows is fantasy points per fight, is 76.4. She is 5-0 in her last 5 fights. She beat Zalnon, Rodriguez, Waterson, Grasso, and Jander Naruba. So she's had a really good run up until this point, fighting good competition, slowly moving her way up. In her last fight, she had that KO round 2, which she just poured it on. She killed it. She was optimal in lineups that week. Against Rodriguez, she had 5 takedowns and a bunch of ground and pound. Waterson was a little bit lower. She got the win, but she only had 1 takedown, but she still had 2 minutes of control time, so she had to work a little bit better with that one. She killed it with Grasso. She had over 115 strikes, mostly ground and pound, 7 minutes of control time, and 4 takedowns. And then the same with Jana Droba. She had 4 takedowns, a reversal, 6 minutes of control time, and a bunch of ground and pound. That's what it's going to be like with her. And against somebody like Rose Namajunas, who is really tough and one of the best with the stand-up game, I think we're going to see, just like in that matchup the first time, I'm predicting that Carla Esparza in a 5-round fight is going to do a lot of grappling. She's going to look to take down Rose several times. This is a 5-round fight, so you can get a lot of ground and pound and takedowns from her. I think this is going to be a better fight between the both of them this time around. But I still think Esparza is going to get the underdog victory by decision, and because she's only 7,300, the world is your oyster with this pick. I think she gets three takedowns. I think she's going to get 5 to 7 minutes of control time because it's 5 rounds, so you can get a lot of that control time with her grappling background, and she's going to do some ground and pound. I don't think she's going to get any finishes because she's more of a decision fighter. Even though she did finish Yan Xiaonan, but that was because Yan has really bad takedown defense and she's a fish out of water on the ground. Rose is better on the ground. She's gotten better overall, but so is Carla Esparza. And this is going to be a fight where it's going to go back and forth. But I think with the chances with her having a low salary, the chance to get 3 to 4 takedowns, control time, and ground and pound, as long as she can get the victory, she's going to be a great play for this price. So I'm going with Carla Esparza right there. Next is the other challenger, Justin the Highlight Gaethje. He's coming in challenging Charles Oliveira, aka the Bronx, for the lightweight championship. He's 23-3, 82.2 FPPF. As you see right there, he's a finishing machine. He had 3 straight knockouts that gave him a great point total. And then the only one that was late was the Ferguson one, and he still had over 144 strikes with that, which still made him optimal. Then he had of course, he had the loss to Nurmagomedov, which was a slight setback. But then he came back and he beat Chandler. He had a good point total in that one. But the key here with the matchup against Oliveira is he only cost 7,700. So it's a great low risk, high reward here because in the last 3 fights that Oliveira has fought, he's been knocked down in each of the first round. Yes, he did overcome that, and in the second, third round, he gotten the victory via KO or submission. But I feel like he hasn't fought a guy like Gaethje. Like Gaethje has the power that Chandler has, but then he also has the grappling with the wrestling background that we haven't seen anybody really challenge Oliveira with. Chandler didn't really use much of it, and Gaethje is a tough brute who pushes forward and he has a good chin. And his only threat was the Sambo style of Habib. Habib was able to get the back of him. He didn't tire out. It's just that Habib was able to pressure him forward. And I don't think Oliveira is going to be able to do that. Oliveira capitalizes on his opponent's mistakes. And Justin Gaethje's not going to make those mistakes like Chandler and Poirier did, and that's why I feel like Gaethje's going to get that first round knockout and be very high pointed in this matchup. And him being 7,700 just makes it the icing on the cake. So I think he's going to be 100 plus fantasy points this week against Oliveira. Moving on to the third person, we got Chaos Williams. He's going up against Randy Brown. You see there, 8,300, a pretty decent salary. 13-2. He has an 86.7 FPPF, which is really good. In his past couple of fights, as you see there, if you take away the Ferreira loss, which was by decision, he has 3 knockouts, 2 in the first round and 1 in the third in his last fight against Baeza, where they had a great fight and then he came back from behind to win it with that knockout. And then he had the decision victory against Semmersberger, which he showed his all-around striking with the combinations, the movement. He had a couple minutes of control time. He topped over 100 plus strikes, 91 significant. I think against a guy like Randy Brown, who has been hit or miss in his fights, he relies heavily on the takedowns and control time and using his jiu-jitsu. But he has a chin, and Chaos Williams has knockout power. So I have a feeling that Chaos Williams is going to either knock him out in the first or second round. It's just a matter of when he does it. And because of that, he's going to be very good points wise because he's going to get the knockout. He's going to get the 30 points for a win and whatever strikes that he gets in the matchup. So I'm banking on Chaos Williams here to get the knockout against the semi good Randy Brown, who's been inconsistent in the UFC. Moving on to the next person, we got Black Goy Ivanov. He is 8,400, aka Baga. He's fighting Rogerio de Lima. This is going to be a pretty fun fight on this card here. I think it's going to be the most underrated one on the prelims. 18-4. His FPPF is low. It's 47.3, but he has a favorable matchup here, in my opinion. He's coming off a 2-fight losing streak, but he lost to Augustus Sakai and Derek Lewis, who are top 15 talent. He did beat Tuivasa and Rothwell and lost to Santos, but he's going to have that combination of striking and the wrestling. And then my ace in the hole with this pick is the weakness of Rogerio de Lima, which is the guillotine chokes. He's lost to the guillotine chokes several times. And one of the things that Ivanov likes to do is he likes to counter striking at times with submission entries. And I could see a situation where De Lima throws one of those knockout shots at Black Goy Ivanov. He moves over and counters it with the guillotine entry. And we've seen De Lima tap at the guillotine without it being fully applied. So I can only imagine that that's going to be one of the takes of Ivanov. He's going to look to get the guillotine, and he's going to look to choke him out if he has the chance to. And I think he gets it done. I think he gets it done in the second round. You're going to see a little bit of striking. You might see 1 or 2 takedowns in those 2 rounds, and maybe like 2-3 minutes of control time like he had against Tuivasa. And he's going to have the big time submission. So that's going to give him a lot of points for the submission and the victory and everything on top. I could see anywhere from 80 to 110 points for him. It all depends on the submission. If he gets the submission, I think he tops 100. If he doesn't, I still think he could win by decision with the wrestling and control time and still get to that 80 to 90 point range. But I'll be nice and say 80 to 85. So with that, I'm going with Black Goy Ivanov to defeat, of course, De Lima. Going back up, we got 2 fighters left. I'm going with Tracy Cortez, 8,700, going up against Gato. This is going to be a really challenging matchup, but she's coming in 9-1. 89.8 FPPF. As you see right there in her 3 fights, she gets a lot of takedowns for a woman. She's averaging 2.5 takedowns a fight. She's averaging close to 7 to 8 minutes of control time with that. So that's going to rack up your point total between the two of those. And then she gets a lot of ground and pound. This is basically jiu-jitsu versus wrestling matchup. And to me, you always lean towards the wrestler because they always have that knack to hold the jiu-jitsu fighter down on the ground and keep them from get into the submission entries. And I think with the pedigree of Tracy Cortez, that she's going to get takedowns early and often. She's going to get a few of them. She's going to get 7 to 8 minutes of control time. You're going to see a little bit of that ground and pound. I see her winning by decision. So it could be a situation where she might only get 80 to 90 points. But this is a no-brainer play for me, in my opinion. This is my lock of the week. Even though she might not touch the 100-point mark, you got to play her, and especially at 8,700, that's a lock to keep that around her FPPF average here. So with this one, I'm going Tracy Cortez right here. The last person I'm going with is Iron Michael Chandler. He's going up against Tony Ferguson. Uh, his salary is the highest of the week, 9,600. He's 22-7, FPPF of 58.7, so it's pretty low for this mark. But as you see right there, he came in his debut. He knocked out Dan Hooker in the first round, so he was optimal that week. But then the past 2 weeks, I give him a pass because he fought Charles Oliveira, the champ, and then he fought the number one contender, Justin Gaethje, which he went to war with Gaethje. They had the fight of the night, possibly fight of the year up to that point. He just couldn't withstand the power punches of Gaethje, but he didn't get knocked out. He took it to decision, and then he was throwing his own heat against Gaethje as well. And he did knock down Oliveira, but Oliveira came back in the second round and knocked him out. So that was his doing there. But he's going up against a guy in Tony Ferguson, who is one of the worst defensive fighters in the lightweight division. And to me, he's a shell of himself. He used to be the man. He used to be able to finish guys, win by decision. He took it all, but I think he's taken too much damage at defense in the defensive stance too much, and he just hasn't looked the same. He's gotten slower. He hasn't improved. He's of the age where he's not going to be able to make the improvements, and he really has lost that chin. I feel like, and against a guy like Michael Chandler who can wrestle and then can knock people out, I think that's what's going to happen. I think Michael Chandler's going to come in there. He's going to get past the defense of Tony Ferguson, which is nothing now, and he's going to knock him out. I think this is going to be Ferguson's last fight because I think Chandler finishes him in the first round and gets over 110 to 120 points in Draftkings this week. That's why I'm using him. That's why he's the highest point total fighter this week at the salary 9,600 because people think he's going to knock out Ferguson, and Ferguson just doesn't have any answers for the power of Michael Chandler. So that's why I'm going with him at the 6th spot in my lineup. As you see right there, let's run it back with the recap of my 6 fighters. We got Carla Esparza, Justin Gaethje, Chaos Williams, Goy Ivanov, Tracy Cortez, and Michael Chandler. Once again, that is my 6 final lineup. Before we get going, once again, I just want to get a shout out to our sponsor, High Tide Herbal. Once again, they're running a promo. All you need to do is go to the website, hightideherbal.com, put in the promo code CageMyIQ10 at checkout to receive 10% off your first order. Once again, that's promo code CageMyIQ10. And then don't forget, before you're done watching this video, please smash the like button down below. Make sure you hit the subscribe button to the channel. We're back at the Cage My IQ YouTube channel. So I just want to make sure all you guys go to the right channel for when I put the content out. And then please hit up the comment section. Let's blow it up. I want to get all you guys' different opinions on Draftkings lineups this week. So post your Draftkings lineup in the comment section and let me know who you're going to use this week. But other than that, I will wrap things up. We will be back next time for another edition of DFS by Cage, episode 28, where it's going to be for UFC Vegas 54. But other than that, I will see you guys next week. Have a good day. Peace.